Dad was a journalist, war correspondent in Vietnam for 7 years, running around the jungles. Our family was planted in Singapore, where I spent the first years of my life. So Dad was a journalist regarded by the other journalists around him as being something of an old man because he had 3 sons, where they were all, young cowboys out having a great old time. Dad was there, my God, you've got 3 children and you're still here. He was regarded as a real troublemaker. He was the first Western journalist to ever stand on the detritus of a battlefield and say to a camera, this war will not be won. And no one had ever said this, which was an instant ASIO file for my young life.
And they paid for it ever since.
Oh, yeah. And he was, at the Tet Offensive, it was Dad who was the first person to get the story out. The way he did this was to tiptoe all the way to the French embassy where they had a telex machine, which was the size of a small VW car at the time, and he got the story out when only the military knew, but he made it public. And of course, Saigon was being overrun. Wow, I've never seen that.
There's a few. I'm going to give them to you. What do you observe about your dad in that clip?
Well, that's the quietly spoken guy. He was always like that. I never heard him shout. He was always very matter of fact, always very methodical about things. And there he was describing things. For example, the coming Tet Offensive, which was terrifying. It would be like Queensland coming to Canberra. Yeah. I can see people running to the exits already. No, I was only joking. But and there he was in the middle of all this stuff. That footage was probably shot by Neil Davis, who was a legend in Vietnam and beyond, who was eventually died on the job filming. And so it's quite moving and quite extraordinary to see that piece of footage.